clearing an imported vehicle at the Tema Port will attract 23 different taxes and levies, and this former President John Mahama finds ridiculous and shocking. According to him, the prevailing conditions at the port continue to make Ghana unattractive for investment and business. Interacting with members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, the former president, who is also the NDC's flag bearer for the 2024 elections, recounts the taxes and levies on Lexus vehicle that was cleared at the port.
The port, so that we'll have the most competitive port in West Africa. And that was because volumes had grown so much that the old Tema Port could no longer handle. The only efficient berth we had was the MPS berth. For those of you who remember, it could take only 2 ships. And so anytime I flew out of Accra, I saw a queue of ships waiting to enter Tema Port. And so I called GAPOA director. I said, but why do you always have this queue of ships? He said, so we don't have the capacity to handle all of them. So some of them have to come and wait with cargo for about a week or more before they get the chance to come in. And that's when I challenged them to build us a new port, because GAPOA and MPS were partners already. So I said, government of Ghana doesn't have the money. You use your own balance sheet and look for the money and build us a port in which you are partners. Today, that port is operating. We have more capacity than it can even handle. And that is why we are sad that volumes are escaping. We must make sure that as much volume comes through that port as possible. Because even the phase 2, if they finish the phase 2, we can handle cargo for almost 5 countries in this sub-region, because we have the capacity to be able to do that. Today, that port is earning GAPOA a lot of money. Since that port was built, GAPOA's dividends has been more than $200 million from the new port. And yet people say, I sold the port. Meanwhile, now, the dividend GAPOA is making, of that almost $200 and something million GAPOA has taken, that is what you've taken $70 million out of to go and do Buankra Port without a railway line. And the point that if my container comes, why would I wait for you to pick my container on a truck and send it to Buankra? I'll come and clear, negotiate the charge with the articulator driver myself, and take my thing. Buankra can only be viable if there's a railway line. And so we're building it just because we promised that we'll build it. But after you finish, how are you going to send the containers there? By road? It's the same way we do it already. So I'd rather clear my thing in Tema, put it on a truck, and then haul my cargo to Kumasi. So we need to make our port competitive. And all of us must work together to see how we can do it. 1, clearance procedures must be made easier. And one of the promises I make you is that we're going to sit together with our trade ministry, and we're going to look at all the fees and charges at the port and rationalize them. Those that are not necessary illegal fees, we'll take them out so that we can make things easier. We're going to let the port work 24 hours. And it's part of the strategy for the 24-hour economy. There's no reason why we can't clear our things on Sunday. There's no reason why we can't clear our things on holidays. The port is an essential service. The way that the electricity company does not go on leave on Sundays and holidays is because it's an essential service. Yeah. The port is also an essential service. And so the port must continue to work every day of the week, including holidays. And so we'll do that. So that people can clear their goods as quickly as possible. Aside from that, in order to make your lives easier, we're going to license some financial institutions. And so if your container is coming and you don't have the money to clear it immediately, you will go to the financial institution to be licensed to do that kind of business in the port. It will be a specialized financial service. So you take your customs document and then take it to the institution and say, look, my cargo is coming. These are the goods I have in it. This is the duty I'm supposed to pay. You sign an agreement with them, depending on how long you want. I want a month to be able to gather the money to clear, or 2 months, or 3 months. Yeah. Government will regulate the interest that they will charge you so that it's not excessive. So as soon as your container is put down, they will pick up your container, they'll pay government's money to it, and they'll move your container to their warehouse, and your container will be there. And then you take your time, put your money together, you go and take your container, and you go away. And so that is one of the things that we're looking at, to license special financial institutions to do that specialized service so that government will also get its money up front. There will be no problem with somebody's container staying in the port, demurrage, and all that kind of thing. Aside from that, we're going to look at the issue of shipping agents. It has come up not only in this discussion, but when we met the clearing and forwarding agents and all of them, everybody complained about the shipping agents, about the fees they are charging. A lot of those fees are not being charged in other ports or any other place. The same companies are operating in other ports. They are not charging those fees. So why are you charging them in Ghana? And so those are fees that we're going to take away so that it reduces the cost of doing business in our port too. A person imported a car, and I was just looking at the charges. This is it's a 2023 Lexus. These are the charges. 20% import duty. Then, after that, import VAT. Then, processing fee. Then, ECOWAS levy. Then, vehicle examination fee. Then, network charges. Then, network charge VAT. Then, network charge COVID. Oh, I was shocked. Then Ghana Shippers Authority. Then import NHIL. Then network charge NHIL. Then GHS disinfection fee. Then MOTI, import declaration fee. Special import levy. Ghana Export Import Bank levy. Ghana Education Trust Fund. Ghana Education Trust Fund network charge. African Union Import Levy. Then COVID Health Recovery Levy. Then certification. Then IRS. You know, there's overage penalty by 0 because it's a new car. But if it was an overage car, it means it will be 23. You know, and so I was shocked myself. And I think, you know, but I'm going to tell you something. And this is about taxes and levies. Yeah. President gave a very good idea and said, look, we need to spread the tax net. And the other day I was talking about it. I am a head of a household. Myself and Auntie Lodina live in the house with our children. People come and work in the house. Somebody comes to service the air conditioners. Somebody comes to change the lights. Electricians come. I mean, all kinds of services. And you should see the charges. For me, I don't know whether they are presidential charges. Maybe because I've been president before. They are charging me more. But I'm sure you are facing the same this thing. The least work they come and do in your house is 1,000 cedis and over. And the question one asks is, those people who are charging, you pay them in cash, they take their money and they walk away. What tax are they paying on that money? And so it means that there are a whole host of people who are making good money but are not paying any taxes. And for most of them, they say they are in the informal economy. And so they don't register businesses. They are artisans. And so somebody came with an idea. He says, why don't we introduce a coupon? And you have to pay them with a coupon so that they have to go and cash that coupon. And when they cash that coupon, you put a 5% withholding tax on it. The idea is just still raw, but I think that it's a step in the right direction that we should look at and see how we can bring all those work people into the tax net. Plumbers, electricians, and all of them, So that's something we should look at.
So let's hear the response of the president of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Aben. He says the proposed 24-hour economy, if well implemented, will be the game changer for the country.
And Your Excellency, let me give you one thing about your 24-hour economy. I think we had a program at School of Mass Communication. It was live, and I've actually thank you for this. At that time, people were just opposing. I said, no. If even you say that it is already there, there's nothing wrong for us to enhance it. And there's more that we can do in the night. There's more that we can do in the night. There are so many things that are creating nuisance in the afternoon. A lot of them. That when you go to Opera Square, when you go to Kantamanto, when you go to Okanshi, in the afternoon where people are shuttling around, that's where we are offloading our goods. And so it made the place very congested and can. So, Your Excellency, let's think about the things that create nuisance in the day and put them in the night. So, it shouldn't be difficult for us to say that when you are clearing your goods within the weekdays where market is going on, unless maybe it is Sunday, those times you have to come after 6.